This year's our placement, the highest package that we have received is much higher than what it was last year or last to last year when the economy was doing fantastically well.
It is a proven fact that the lifespan of any skill which you talk about, the technical skill which you talk about, it doesn't last for more than 2-3 years at all.
The current generation of students who are graduating, they surely have the aspirations of doing a graduation in some field of management, whether that's MBA, PGDM, PGP, whatever you call it. There is definitely a clear indication that they want this. Now, when it comes to the general perception that India's job scenario is bad, we have unemployment which is highest in certain number of decades, etc. But please understand that may be the case with people who are either unskilled or semi-skilled. When it comes to skilled workers, right, it's not affecting them.
The economic history of the world, or including India, the most terrible recession we suffered during the World War, the First World War, the Second World War, those were the very, very elongated recessionary period as such. But after that, if you really look into the recessionary period, it's mostly a J curve, a short, quick J curve, in the sense you're up, down, and then again you go up. What has been noticed that most of the time the recessions have disappeared in just about 2-3 years' time as such. And that's the reason I tell, well, the industry is bad, there are not too many companies recruiting students, so it doesn't worry, it doesn't matter at all. That's the time when you should actually come out and acquire some additional qualification, because 2 years down the line when you graduate from this place or any other business school, that's the time when the industry is up once again, and you're right in the thick, the middle of activities, and they're looking for the right kind of people.
This year's our placement, the highest package that we have received, is much higher than what it was last year or last to last year when the economy was doing fantastically well, right? When economy was considering that jobs were plenty, etc., in last 2 years, and this year it might be less, but we have managed even higher packages. And therefore I would say that if you have the right skill, you have got the right kind of education from a right kind of institute, this is not going to impact you. One of the major change that our economy, in fact economies across the world is going through, is we are entering into, or we may have already entered into, what is known as industrialization 4.0, which is basically making a transition in a much bigger way and in a deeper way into the IT and IT related digitizations, artificial intelligence, deep learning, and all sorts of businesses and their applications in business. So therefore the challenge may be that if you are kind of not at all exposed to this field, you have to work a little more harder to be at par with people who comes with a background of some knowledge, if not in-depth knowledge about these aspects of the businesses.
Business education, especially after COVID-19, has undergone a lot of changes. Many institutions have embraced those changes, and they've become a little more resilient and relevant. And that's exactly what we're following. Not many institutions, be schools in the world as such, have really changed. They are still following the same old traditional model as such. What we have done, and we've seen that what really is going to change and probably survive in the days to come is the quality of leadership as such, and how adaptable, how quick you are in taking decisions, because disruptions will keep on happening every now and then. in some form or the other, in society, in technology, in the way you live in, things like that, the marketplace, everywhere there's going to be a lot of disruption. Now, you have to be alert. You really have to be, anticipate the changes well in advance so that you're ready. And that's exactly what we prepare our students. We prepare our students to anticipate the changes. We prepare our students for the future, not just for today.
So knowing internet and its application is no more kind of an advantage. One has to go beyond that. That how artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, what could be their business applications, how the traditional businesses may go through some changes because of those applications. They must be aware of those things. See, one of the things that most of the students do not do is that they do not check accreditation, approval, and association of a B school and its program with certain agencies, national or internationals, that do the quality check. So for example, if you are looking at some national level accreditation body, MBA is a government run sort of organization that does the quality check. So whether the program meets the requirement of the new economy, is the learning process focuses on overall development, how often the syllabus is upgraded, whether the courses address the issues of the emerging challenges and opportunities of the businesses. These agencies, whether NBA, whether ASCSB, whether SACS, AICT of course is always there, UGC, they are the ones who do the quality checks, and accordingly they provide their accreditation, approval, association, whichever way they can certify the quality. Now, if you are looking at ROI sort of things, that how much do I put in and how much do I get back out of it, my observation would be, or my suggestion would be, first of all, you must be very sure that the cost or the fee structure that is shared by the B school, whether on their website or in other ways, you must find out whether this is the academic fees that the school is talking about, or is it the overall expenditure. For example, in IMT Nagpur, the fees that we mentioned, which is 15 lakhs, it includes the academic fees, it includes your hostel expenses, it includes your food, it includes your textbook, it includes your alumni association fees, and almost all possible expenses. So if a student would be judicious in his or her expenses, I would say that their monthly expense would not exceed more than 500 to 1000 rupees, because every expense is probably taken care of.
Unless you know what the industry wants, and I don't think that unless you know that, a business school is not doing the justice by just churning out students who are not relevant for the industry as such. So we try to bridge the gap between the requirers of these students to take the lead on, and the providers like us to make sure that the gap remains as less as possible.